Tonight, calls for Broken Hill's mayor to take a leave of absence in the lead-up to the New South Wales state election. And wild weather sparks a dramatic yacht rescue on the Port Lincoln foreshore.
This is Southern Cross News with Abby Donaldson.
Good evening. A Broken Hill councillor is calling for the city's mayor to take a leave of absence in the lead-up to the New South Wales state election. Daria Turley is the Labor candidate for the seat of Barwon, and there's concerns her political campaign could impact the local community.
The city's mayor under pressure to take a leave of absence.
The mayor really does have to decide at this stage whether being the mayor of the city is in the best interest of the city while she's running for the state parliament.
Daria Turley was announced as Labor's candidate for the seat of Barwon in April and has since been on the campaign trail while juggling mayoral duties. However, Councillor Tom Kennedy has voiced his concerns about her current position. He believes her campaigning against the state government could affect the amount of support the community receives.
I have no doubt she's going to come under a lot of criticism by the National Party. They will make sure that everything that's happened on this council is made known. Have a leave of absence for the next 9 months while she's doing the campaign against the state government. That can make it quite difficult for the community.
But the mayor has hit back, saying she's not going anywhere.
I'm not sure what Councillor Kennedy's motivation is, but there is no leave of absence here.
She claims the state government will likely be generous as the election approaches.
The National Party will want the community of Broken Hill to forget the debacle about our water, and they'll throw every dollar at us. There'll be a war chest of money opened.
The New South Wales state election will be held in March. Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
The recent wild weather sparked a dramatic yacht rescue on the Port Lincoln foreshore. Late yesterday afternoon, SES Marine and Land crews responded to a flare sighting from a yacht floundering just 200 metres off the Port Lincoln jetty. Due to the rough seas, it was decided that the man stuck on the yacht would have to let his boat beach itself. Crews threw a line to assist the boat owner to safety, where he was treated by paramedics. A fresh 2-day search for missing Adelaide man Scott Redmond near Kimba has returned with no new significant evidence. It's the third unsuccessful search of an area near Secret Rocks west of Kimba. The 19-year-old was reported missing on April 24 after allegedly being involved in a car chase in the area 3 days earlier. The car was found dumped at Secret Rocks. The investigation remains open, with anyone with information urged to call Crime Stoppers. Concerned residents are calling upon council to fix the massive holes in the Kadena Cemetery's heritage stone wall. Council's currently investigating permanent solutions, but some come with a hefty price tag.
It's a 1 kilometre heritage stone wall built under Cornish tradition to protect loved ones in the mid-1800s. Over the past few decades, the wall has fallen into disrepair.
The walls have had very little or no repair in a very, very long time.
Councillors now talking to State Heritage and investigating around 8 different long-term solutions to fix the wall.
Put a permanent solution in, which is to replace the walls, put in a foundation, stop the rising damp and rebuild the walls, and that is at about 1.7 million.
The cemetery is located next to a natural groundwater drainage corridor and is surrounded by a sewage treatment facility. The Ratepayers Association claims the groundwater is causing grave sites to sink and water to fill excavated graves.
They can excavate here for an interment, and the next day they've basically got to pump water out of the gravesite, which is not really an acceptable standard.
Local residents are calling upon council to restore the cemetery to reflect its historical place in the community.
And built in the same spirit that they were built.
We want to hear their opinions. We want them to tell us how important these walls are compared to other projects in the community.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Mining company Carpinteria Resources requested a trading halt on the Australian Stock Exchange yesterday. It says the company continues to seek funding for a feasibility study for its Horsens Iron project near Broken Hill. An announcement is expected to be made next week. If the project proceeds, it could create over 500 jobs. Port Pirie's free public Wi-Fi has been a massive success, with thousands of users logging on each month. There's now plans for more Wi-Fi hotspots, while it's also helping local police keep our streets safe.
Providing free internet connection for both residents and tourists of Port Pirie and Crystal Brook.
Important for visitors to be able to research tourism assets we have within the area, but also for local residents to be able to do shopping or look at services within the council area.
The free public Wi-Fi system has been connecting thousands of people to the internet each month since it was first hooked up last year.
We've grown it over the 12 months to about 4,000 people logging on regularly each month.
Council has recently partnered with local police to help keep the community safe. Surveillance cameras in the Port Pirie CBD will now be live streamed through the free Wi-Fi service directly to police.
Be able to share the footage live with SAPOL, so if there's any incident or event, SAPOL can look at that live.
And that's not all. Council has plans to install free Wi-Fi at other key destinations in Port Pirie.
With the Northern Festival Centre, and we'll be able to put additional equipment up there that will allow us to cover a greater portion of the CBD and also the new sports precinct.
Rachel Nell, Southern Cross News.
Still to come tonight, why Port Lincoln Mayor Bruce Green is stripping down into his wetsuit. Three aerodromes in the region will undergo a series of safety checks in the coming week. The Civil Aviation Safety Authority will be conducting the checks to ensure pilots can safely take off and land.
There's nothing more critical for pilots than a safe and accessible landing strip. Every 3 years, each Australian airport undergoes a routine check to ensure they're fit for use when pilots are flying at night or purely by instrument. Next week, 8 South Australian airfields will be under the spotlight.
So all that information has to be accurate, 100% up to date, and that's why we do these checks.
In our region, Whyalla, Port Lincoln and Cleve airports will be investigated beginning August 7. A twin Cessna aircraft will fly over each airport, covering a 35-kilometre range around the runway. The sites will be mapped out to give pilots accurate information, so they can avoid obstacles when landing.
Looking for any new obstacles, just in case any buildings or towers, telecommunication masts, for example, have gone up.
Residents are likely to see low-flying aircraft patrolling the airfields. Mr. Gibson says they need to be as low to the ground as possible to get the best view of the ground from the sky.
Down low, crisscrossing between flight paths, so not the usual sort of flying you see around the airports, but it's nothing to worry about.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Whyala's childcare centre is under review and local residents can take part in the process. Council wants people to have their say about what's working and what can be improved.
Key things we're trying to understand as part of this review is, can we do it more efficiently? Is it providing the exact service the community requires?
Mr. Cowley says the review is one of a number to be undertaken across the whole corporation.
And ultimately provide the best value and efficient service to the community we can provide.
A survey is now available to complete through Council's website or at Council Chambers. A parents' meeting will also be held on August 7. Port Lincoln Mayor Bruce Green is always up for showing off new and exciting additions to the town, and the opening of a public shower was no exception. The town foreshore has always had public toilets available, however Council agreed they needed a facelift.
So as people walk along the town jetty, to have the visual of an iconic Port Lincoln Pelican is a great thing.
How was the shower?
It was pretty good. I'm going to have another one.
With the opening this week, the Mayor couldn't help but strip down and give it a go. The art installation of Mr. Percival and his friends printed on the public amenity was made possible by the help of a $5,000 federal grant. Last week we brought you the heartwarming story of a sheep breeder choosing rams to be auctioned off to raise funds for Ronald McDonald House. The decision was made after the family had to stay at the house for 49 nights when their daughter Isla was born premature, and chose lot 49 from their ram sale to donate the proceeds from. And when it came time to bidding, the Ram sold for a whopping $4,000, but it didn't stop there. The original purchaser, having also stayed at Ronald McDonald House, re-entered the Ram into the auction, which sold for a further $2,400, raising a total of $6,400. A new initiative aiming to boost Broken Hill's population by the year 2025 has taken another step forward. A committee of locals from a wide variety of industries has been established.
A population of 25,000 people by 2025.
In the heyday, Broken Hill was in the mid-30s, so it is realistic.
Peter Nash came up with the concept of 25 in 25 only a few months ago, and it's since gained plenty of interest. The idea is to make Broken Hill not just an attraction for tourists to come and visit, but a welcoming place for people to come and stay.
And I'm sure we can both create some positivity within the community, that there is a future and a long-term future for Broken Hill, and that working together and tapping into everybody's expertise, we can make some significant improvements.
25 in 25 has now set up a subcommittee under the existing Foundation Broken Hill Board. Hospitality, tourism, real estate and health are just some of the industries represented. And at the top end, Member for Barwon Kevin Humphreys and Federal Member for Parks Mark Colton have also shown their support for the committee.
We're trying to bring people with great skill sets to the table, people that have got vast knowledge.
The committee's first step is to formulate a strategic plan to grow Broken Hill's population and industry.
By having the people with the skills at the table, we hope to get some solid outcomes.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
A Port Lincoln local keeping a watchful eye on an endangered species of bird is excited to witness a new arrival. Janet Foster installed 24/7 CCTV cameras after she purchased a barge to save the osprey's 100-kilogram nest. After following the journey of the pair of birds, raising 2 chicks in the nest last year, she is thrilled to observe a new arrival to the nest. Janet hopes another egg is on the way so the nest can once again turn from 2 birds into 4. We've just come out of the month of July, meaning many have just finished a month of sobriety for the Dry July fundraiser. Radio personality Simo decided to jump on board Dry July to raise much-needed funds for cancer research. Not only did he give up alcohol, but he also went vegetarian for the month and vegan for the final 5 days. Having reached his goal of raising $1,000, he also went through with the promise to shave his head.
Never raised this much for anything before, and it's such a worthy cause, the Dry July Foundation. They do some really good work, so to raise that much for cancer research and health and wellbeing, it's pretty special.
And to finish off the shave, it was some sheep shearing clippers that got the job done. Good on you, Simo. Stay with us after the break. We'll have all the region's footy tips.
And it'll be a wet weekend ahead. I'll have all the local weather details next.
Welcome back. Time now for footy tips.
Hello and welcome to round 14 of SGL football. This round starts with Soli's taking on the Lions at Port Oval on Saturday. I'm tipping the Lions. On Saturday in Port Augusta, it's Central up against West. I'm tipping Central. Then on Sunday in Port Augusta, it's the undefeated South taking on Port. I'm tipping South to continue their unbeaten run.
Round 15 of Whyalla football, the finalists are all playing each other this weekend. Saturday at Bennett Oval, it's West Whyalla versus Waruna Bay. Bay's good win last week, but they take on the top team just by percentage, so West will be favourite here. The other finalists this weekend will be on Saturday at Memorial Oval. It's North Whyalla versus South Whyalla. North travelling along nicely. They get their act into gear at this time of year, so I think the Magpies to win. And finally on Sunday, the teams not playing finals, Rapina versus Central Whyalla. Roos were very disappointing last week, so I think the Roosters will have a win.
Welcome to Port Lincoln Footy Tips. We kick things off at Centenary Oval, where Waybacks are hosting Bostons. Waybacks are coming off a loss last week and have a lot to prove this week. I'm tipping Waybacks to win this one comfortably. In the next game, we've got Mallee Park hosting Tasmans. Mallee Park are always a lot stronger at home, but Tasmans are playing some great footy. I'm tipping Tasmans to win this one by 5 goals. In the final game, we've got Marble Range hosting Lincoln South out at Wongaree. Nobody likes to travel to Wongaree, and Marble Range are strong at home. I'm tipping Marble Range to win this one by 6 goals.
Round 13 of football in Broken Hill this weekend, and the most important round of the year. 3 rounds to go, 15-round season. West have to win every game to play a prelim final. It starts tomorrow. Jubilee Oval, they have to beat Central. They've done it once this year. Can they repeat that performance? I think they can. It'll be tough, it'll be hard, but the Robins, under interim coach Nathan Pearce, can win. Alma Oval, the South Football Club, are celebrating their past players' weekend. They've defeated North in every game this year by an average winning margin of over 80 points. Can North beat South? No way. The Roos on their home turf, their past players' weekend, they'll win by 10 goals plus. South to win tomorrow, and West, they will win their second game of the season.
And now here's what's happening in Whyalla soccer.
Welcome to Whyalla Soccer Round 15. On Saturday sees Lions take on Croatia at Jenkins Park. Top of the table clash, this could go any way, but I'll stick with Croatia. On the Sunday, it sees Westlands travel to McGill Park to take on Steel. Steel were very, very good last week beating Croatia. My tip there will be Steel. Wanderers have got the bye.
And time now for the weather with Amy.
Thanks for that, Abby. A wet day across the region today with temperatures dropping. 17 for both Port Augusta and Whyalla. Broken Hill sitting just below at 16 degrees. A look at the satellite now, and cloud across the west and south with a cold front is generating isolated storms and areas of rain, heaviest across the south. If you're spending your weekend on the waters, northerly winds will shift northwesterly up to 30 knots with seas reaching 2.5 metres. The early birds can catch sunrise at 7:11 while it will set at 5:41. More wet weather forecast for most districts tomorrow. Port Lincoln and Cleve seeing a high of 17 degrees. Fine in Port Augusta with a top of 20. Rain will extend into early next week around Port Lincoln. Tuesday, a top of 16. Similar conditions expected for Cleve and Woodnar with temperatures in the mid-teens. Conditions look to be finding up around Whyalla and Port Augusta come Tuesday, both hitting 18 degrees. However, Kadena can still expect some showers and a top of 15. Rain settling in across Port Pirie and Clare as the new working week gets underway. Meanwhile, despite a windy Sunday, mostly sunny in Broken Hill to start next week. So Abby, let's hope the rain hangs around a little longer for those areas in desperate need.
Thanks, Amy. Fingers crossed. And that's all the local news this Friday. Have a great weekend. Good night.